believe.
Hey, what is up, you sexy bees? My name is Shadowfax, and or Louise, whichever you want to call me, and today, guys, got some more Black Ops 2 PC gameplay for you. But as ever, it is not about the gameplay, because the gameplay is kind of mediocre. But, guys, I'm not going to be talking about that, obviously. I'm going to be talking about something else. Something that's a little bit sad, but also good as well. Now, I mentioned in a previous video that I was looking about adopting a dog. Now, I didn't really elaborate on it like I was meant to. So I'm going to dedicate this whole video to it because I have now indeed adopted a dog. Me and my girlfriend Lucy have adopted a dog called Lizzie, and I'm going to be putting a picture up on the screen right now. So say hello to Lizzie. And yeah, guys, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Lizzie and how we came to adopt her, and the rough start, the really rough start she had in life. Now, Lizzie is actually a Romanian street dog. If you don't really know much about the Romanian street dogs, Romania has quite a problem with stray dogs, and their answer to it is the dog catchers, and it's something called ASPA, which is the Authority for the Safety and Protection of Animals, something like that. So you would think that sounds a bit like the RSPCA or the ASPCA from America, stuff like that. You know, you think they're out to help the animals. Well, they're not. They are absolutely awful, awful people, and they catch these Romanian street dogs in absolutely horrific ways. And it's not even always just street dogs. I think it was back in March 2014, I think it was. They actually broke into, with the police's help, into a dog shelter and confiscated 90 dogs. And there is actually video footage of them doing it. They completely destroyed the place. And these dogs were street dogs and had been taken on by these lovely people in this shelter. And they'd all been neutered and microchipped and were ready to go off to their new homes and be adopted. And the ASPCA decided to take it upon themselves to break in and forcibly take these 90 dogs. And they handled them so roughly that 4 dogs died on the spot. And they were putting them into small cages to transport them, like at least 3 dogs to 1 cage. It was absolutely horrific, the footage I saw. But if you actually just Google Romanian dog catchers, or you look it up on YouTube, you will find absolutely horrific images and horrific videos of what they do to these dogs. These dog catchers are absolutely disgusting. They have no sense of regard for the dog's welfare at all. And they just they're absolutely awful people. As you know, when you see like a stray dog in the UK or in America and they use those long poles to catch them, well, once they've caught them, they put a lead on them, don't they? They just use these long poles to catch them. Well, the Romanian dog catchers use these long poles to catch them and then use them to drag the dog while it is extremely distressed, and they will lift them up by these poles, so they are essentially strangling the dogs, and stick them into tiny cramped cages where they are then taken to kill shelters. And basically the dogs are like, they're lucky to survive 7 days there, and if they survive 7 days and they're not rescued, well, then they're killed. And when I say killed, I mean killed. Not like over here where they would be put down humanely. They are, from what I was told and what I've researched, they will actually kill them with things like rat poison. So it is a slow, terrible, awful death. And it's absolutely disgusting the way they treat these animals. And this is where my Lizzie has come from. So as you can imagine, she can be nervous, especially of men. But she actually does love people, despite all of what she's been through. She does love people. I'm going to tell you Lizzie's story. Now, Lizzie was a street dog, and she was caught by the dog catchers and put into a kill shelter. And someone rescued her. Now, I'm going to use the word rescued lightly. They actually took her home with them and stuck her in a concrete box that she couldn't even stand up in, and they left her to sit in her own feces and urine. And I will put a picture of the box that she was actually in up on screen now. And I'm not sure how long she was in there for, but she was in there long enough to sustain sores on her legs and on her, on her hips. And she's actually got marks there where the fur will never grow back, where she had sores there from laying in her own feces and urine, because I mean, I don't know if you guys know, but your own feces and urine is very acidic. So it actually burns your skin. If you were to sit in your own piss and shit all day, it would burn your skin. So this is the kind of life that Lizzie came from. And then, fortunately, somebody else rescued her, properly rescued her, and got her all sorted, got her microchipped, neutered, back up to health. Her muscles had to be, she had to re-strengthen her muscles because her muscles had wasted away where she had just been laying down all the time, as you can imagine. And she was then eventually sent over to the UK, where we heard of a charity called UK Romanian Dog Rescue. If you search them up on Facebook, you will find their page. And they bring over, they work with the rescuers in Romania, the proper rescuers, and bring dogs over to the UK and rehome them. And they have a lot of dogs at one time. And this is a charity. They're not funded by anything. They are a charity. So yeah, we got in contact with them and we went to see the dogs and we met Lizzie and we brought Lizzie home. And Lizzie is an absolute sweetheart, and I'm telling you, we have had no problems with her. A couple of people she's growled at because she's worried, but she's not even really lifted her lips. It's just a grumble. It's just sort of like a little, oh, stay away from me. She's actually really, really cute. She's very well behaved. If we tell her to, like, when we're eating, like we're eating dinner, she kind of stares at us. So we say, Lizzie, get in your bed, and she'll go and get in her bed. So she's really well behaved. She hasn't had any accidents in the house or anything like that. She's a lovely, sweet girl. We think she's about 7 to 8 years old, and she's obviously, like I've mentioned, she's got these marks on her from where she was laying in her own feces and urine. And she's also, if you were to look at her teeth, they're very ground down from where she was obviously like living on the streets. And dogs, when they're living on the streets and they've got nothing else to eat, will literally eat rocks. Any animal will, I think, really. When you've got nothing else to eat, they will literally eat rocks and dirt to just try and survive. And I think that's what's happened to her, and she's that's why her teeth are extremely ground down. But she's an absolute total sweetheart. And considering all the awful things she's been through, she's been caught by these dog catchers, she's been then rescued and put in a concrete box and left to live in her own filth, and she's obviously been beaten. The way she used to, when we first got her, we'd go to stroke her and she would wince and duck down and put her head down because she's obviously been whacked before. Somebody's beaten her up at some point. Probably the dog catchers and possibly that supposed rescuer, I don't know. But all the things that she's been through, and she's such a sweetheart. And the thing is, this is true of all the dogs that I saw at the UK Romanian Dog Rescue. They've all had their own terrible beginnings, and yet they're also still so sweet-natured, and all they want is for somebody to love them. I mean, Lizzie is nervous of people when she first meets them, and yeah, she can be quite nervous, but she also craves the attention from them. She's worried because she doesn't know what they're going to be like with her. But she's still itching to get near them. It's quite weird to see that she's so sort of nervous, but she wants to be their friend. She wants to go up and see them. And once she realises that they're not going to hurt her, she's all over them. She wants to be their best friend, and she's just, all she wants is cuddles. Like, literally, that's all she wants. She wakes us up in the morning with a paw in the face because she just wants to come up on the bed and have snuggles. And she's an absolute sweetheart. Really couldn't have asked for a better dog. And I think in the future, when we have dogs in the future and stuff, then we're gonna probably go for a rescue dog again, like a Romanian rescue dog, because they need homes, and they're such sweethearts, especially with what they've been through. I always find that the dogs that have been through the most are probably the nicest. It's very strange. And she's come into our house and she's been so well behaved, and we've got a cat as well, in case you didn't know. I've mentioned that in videos as well. We've got a cat called Ruby, and Ruby was kind of like, when we first brought her in, Ruby was like, what the hell? But they're not friends as such. They just sort of coexist. They just like ignore each other, and they kind of look at each other sometimes, and they'll have a little sniff of each other, and they're like, oh, right, okay, that's you. And they wander off. So for her to come in, and because we were a little bit worried like what they were going to be like together, obviously, they didn't. They really weren't that bothered by each other. And Lizzie at first just acted like Ruby didn't even exist. It was quite funny to see. So, yeah, guys, that's it. That's what I wanted to talk about. So, yeah, basically, the Romanian dog catchers are absolute bastards and deserve to be castrated. But that's the kind of awful thing that happens over in Romania. But this isn't just a thing in Romania. This happens all over the world. This even happens in England. This sort of stuff. People mistreating animals, and I really don't see why. You've got to be some really special kind of arsehole coward to treat a defenseless animal like that. It's just, you know, to me, like, my animals get treated like they're my children. You know, they'll have the best of everything. They have the best money can buy, you know. And you've really got to be a special kind of cunt to, and I'm sorry that I use that word, but you have to be a special kind of cunt to treat animals like that, to mistreat animals who are essentially defenseless and who haven't hurt anybody. They haven't done anything wrong, and it makes these people, these awful people, feel like big men by hurting animals. I don't get it. Honestly, they've obviously got something extremely wrong in their head for them to want to hurt anyone, let alone a poor selfless a defenseless animal. It doesn't make sense to me at all. So what I am going to try and do in the future, guys, because these guys, the UK Romanian Dog Rescue, are doing such excellent work, I am going to actually try and do a 24-hour live stream. Once I've got my next holiday, my next annual leave from work, I'm going to do a 24-hour live stream to raise money for these guys. So keep a lookout for that. It won't be for a few weeks yet because I've got to be able to have 24 hours that I can sit there and then be able to sleep afterwards. But that's what I'm going to be doing, guys. In the next few weeks, I'm going to be doing a 24-hour live stream, probably over on Twitch, to raise money for the UK Romanian Dog Rescue, because they are doing absolutely wonderful work bringing these dogs over here. And it's not cheap to get them over here. So, yeah, guys, that's been it. It's a bit of a sad video to hear about this kind of thing, but it also is quite nice to hear that even though dogs like this have been through so much, that they're still such lovely, lovely, lovely animals. But anyway, guys, that has been it for today, and I'll see you in the next video.